Good morning, folks, and welcome to Sunday. It's coffee hour. So welcome to Coffee with Deb, okay? So we have more good news coming out of Indiana this morning. Kind of missed this one last night, but it's not a done deal yet. It's supposedly a deal that will be announced today. And we have our Caitlin Clark backup guard in Ty Harris, who reportedly came to terms with the Fever yesterday, and they're expecting an announcement sometime today. And that, my friends, is a great pickup for the Indiana Fever. So, you know, now we look at this team, okay? Now we look at this team, okay? All right. Uh, we have Lexi Hull, Monique Billings, now Ty Harris coming on board. We have Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Michaela Timpson, part of the future of the Indiana Fever, by the way. And Damaris Dantas apparently has agreed to terms and will be signing with the Fever, although that is also not a done deal just yet. So, a couple of things I want to address here. Some commenter on the thread on the videos called Kelsey Mitchell a one-trick pony. Okay. And spoke quite disparagingly about her. Let's get this right, okay? Let's get it right from the get-go. Kelsey Mitchell isn't just a great three-point shooter. She's quick to the basket. She's great under the basket, okay? And she has great chemistry with Caitlin Clark. And by the way, Caitlin Clark stated on NBC on national television that Kelsey Mitchell was the number one priority. She was Caitlin Clark's number one priority because together they are the deadliest guide tandem in the WNBA. Period. End of story. So if you want to talk disparagingly about Kelsey Mitchell, you can take your commentary to somebody else's channel. I can live without you. And whoever the two clowns were that voted his comment up, they can go with him. Okay? See you later. Okay? I don't need you around here making my blood pressure go up. I get plenty of that at work. All right? Now, two other things. Two other things. The comments about Sophie Cunningham. We need Sophie. Look it, I'd like to see Sophie back, but honestly, not at the expense of the Indiana Fever's future. Sophie Cunningham is a bench player, okay? And Sophie Cunningham's popularity, in my opinion, was never even close to where it is today until she came to Indiana, all right? Now, let's be realistic. People ask, what's with the Fever not signing Sophie? You do realize, of course, that Sophie Cunningham stated from the beginning she was going to entertain offers from other teams. And that's what she's doing. She's taking care of Sophie Cunningham. All right. So I'd like to see Sophie back. I think it becomes much less pressing now with Lexi Hull and Ty Harris in the mix. Um, and they still may draft a guard coming out of college. They have a number 10 pick in the first round. That's a pretty good pick. So let's talk. I'm all for Sophie coming back, provided it doesn't compromise the core going down the road. Sophie Cunningham wants a long-term contract that she's going to be commanding more money. All right. And we will have Aaliyah Boston coming up next year with a multi-year contract required, and Caitlin Clark soon to follow that. And actually, they may take care of Caitlin Clark next year. Who knows? They cannot compromise that duo under any circumstance. And by the way, I'd like to make clear about one thing about Kelsey Mitchell that I missed in my previous comment. They cored her. They did not. That is not a multi-year contract yet. Okay, so let's get real here. All right, let's get real here. So Sophie Cunningham coming back will depend on Sophie Cunningham. It won't depend on the Indiana Fever. It'll depend on how many years she wants and what her price is. And I don't believe that the core should be compromised for Sophie Cunningham. She's a bench player, folks, a bench player. All right. And Caitlin Clark doesn't need an enforcer. All right. Caitlin Clark, who went through the defensive assault of her rookie season and broke 62 records, has proven that she can handle the floor. She does not need an enforcer. We don't need to break the bank on an enforcer. And I think that's what a lot of people see Sophie Cunningham as. All right. So let's stop it and let's move on here. Okay. Let's see what happens. We have a whole week of negotiations to go. They still have 3 players to add. You know, one of them still might be a power forward. Monique Billings is a quick forward. Okay. But we'll see where this goes. All right. That's the other commentary I had this morning. And then the commentary about what's with New York having all these great players. Well, New York has traditionally had all these great players. You remember they had all of these great players last year, and they picked New York from the get-go at the very beginning of the season to win the championship. Okay, they went 9-0 in their first 9 games until, as it turned out, the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark handed them their first loss at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And quite frankly, New York did not live up to its billing last year. They got knocked out in the first round. So having all those big name players doesn't always work in the clubhouse. It doesn't always work on the court. Let's not worry about New York. Let's just worry about the Indiana Fever. And how about we just enjoy the Indiana Fever? Because they're going to have a great team this year. And as Caitlin Clark says, and she stated this on national TV, Indiana needs to be seen as the favorite to win the championship this year. They have a championship mindset. That's why Monique Billings came to the Indiana Fever. If you saw the video that she put out there on YouTube, shouting out to Indiana and being happy to be there, you'll know that that's what she stated: the grit, the determination, and the championship mindset. So what I've got here for you guys now for video is something I showed not long ago, which was the FIBA highlights of Caitlin Clark. But in these FIBA highlights, there are some great performances by Monique Billings on the floor with Caitlin Clark and under the basket. And this is certainly why the Indiana Fever went after her. There's no question about that. I think the chemistry between her and Clark is real. I think it's going to translate. I think it's going to be great. You guys enjoy this. And we're going to wait today and hear what they have to say about the Ty Harris signing. But apparently it is on the way. So here we go, gang.
Caitlin Clark doing her best Chelsea Gray impression. What a finish.
Yeah, and I think
Brianna Jones. Caitlin Clark gets in the passing lane, goes coast to coast for the and one opportunity. Makes the layup off the glass. She asked her teammates, did that go in? Let's take another look. Caitlin Clark jumps the passing lane, coast to coast. Let's see. Oh, the referee got in the way to see that. She did get hit in the head. She's making a case for herself, but Clark off the Reese screen. Sidestep, deep three! And there's Caitlin Clark for her first triple. And this one right here was the exclamation mark on that play. Ariathan down with the steal. Paige Becker is wide open, and the crowd goes crazy. Even just holding the ball so they can see it, they steal it just like that. If they see the ball, they can get their hands on it, they can get it done. And there we go with Caitlin Clark, back-to-back transition hoop.
Sean off her back, Emmy's pitch and cut, all right? You make a play, all right?
Here we go, ladies, execute this. Let's go, here we go.
There is Team USA, comes back the other way, looking to punish. Caitlin Clark pulls up from deep. And those are the Caitlin Clark logo threes we're used to seeing. USA ball, as Puerto Rico has a few new faces check into the game. And chucks up the three. Spain wanted the call, but Paige is leaking her against Ioso, and that one is good for Team USA. Caitlin Clark tries again. This time it's good. The inspiring speech there by Nate Tibbetts as we see Caitlin Clark. Back up to Caitlin Clark to set something up. Off the Hamby screen. Dishes it into Hamby. Hamby makes that one look easy. What a give and go between those two. USA leads 23-7. Just under a minute and a half left to go in the first. Billings up to Clark. Clark takes her first shot. And it's a three, and it is good. We'll take another look at Caitlin Clark's debut shot. In rhythm, comes off the screen, gets the handoff. And you're right, that very much was a rattler. Touched about every. Looking to take advantage of a wide open Howard. Can't this time, and Gustafson with the rebound, but she saves it inbounds to Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark is there to capitalize off that one. Italy is showing a zone now. 9 seconds to shoot. Inside to Billings. Billings, the reverse off the glass is good. Of course, playing for themselves right now, getting themselves prepared for the rest of the tournament, getting themselves prepared for the World Cup that they've already qualified for, but really not letting their foot off the glass on offense or defense as Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, no one steps up, drives, kicks it to Beckers, and Paige Beckers. Caitlin Clark on the wing. Look at that. Oh no, charged with the foul. Her second of the game. This is a replay of Caitlin Clark. Gets it to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin is looking to share the ball. Comes off the screen. A nice pass into Copper. Copper up and
on that play, you scored an easy bucket.
The 5-in, 5-out substitution pattern, Danilo. What does that say about the depth of this team when you have Caitlin Clark?
And that's an easy shot for her, deep three.
The deep three is like a layup for her, though.
Yeah, it's a layup. That's
Ryan Howard, back to Clark. Clark into Irfin, and Irfin off the glass.
We see 5 new players coming in. And as my former coach, the fever for Caitlin Clark is high everywhere in the world.
And Caitlin Clark immediately making an impact. It's her first foul of the game. It'll be Italy ball on the sideline. Would not be surprising. 13 of 16 so far from 3 for Team USA. And here we go, Caitlin Clark right on cue. So Caitlin Clark brings it up. Over to Plum. Plum hands it right back, and Clark off the Billings screen gets it into Monique Billings, and that's her first bucket.
Not this time. She's gonna really set the screen. They're still going to the corner for a shot.
Graham drives against Burrell, up off the glass. Monique Billings pulls down her 6th rebound of the game. Caitlin Clark, the vision and the execution. What a pass inside. Clark, one of the best passers there is in basketball. This time, gonna do it herself by Monique Billings. 8 points, 5 rebounds for her already in this game as she got the start. 5.5 minutes left to go in the game. New Zealand miscommunication. Ray Burrell comes down with the steal. And Monique Billings makes him pay on the other end. Ashley Strawbridge checks back into the game. Shoots the ball up. On the other end, Kiki Irfin, great. Go along with 3 boards. Kelsey Plum, look at that steal. Hands it up to Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark gets it done in transition, and that's...
Gonna cool. Sorry, Amy, she's gonna cool. And then she goes under, and I'm gonna stop. Yes.
Looking for Clark.
Angel Reese has been so good, cleaning the glass.
It's her 3rd rebound of the game. Clark off the Iriofin screen. Pulls up for three, and there's nothing but net. Still gets a hand on it. Now they're on the run. A 2-on-2 opportunity. Monique Billings loses the ball, stays with it, and kisses it off the glass.
Team USA will be able to recognize the advantages that they have.
I think that's the first free throw she's missed this entire tournament. Ray Burrell leaks out and gets the easy bucket as they're able to outlet it. Tries to turn the corner. Great defense there by Puerto Rico. Burrell back up to Clark. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Angel Reese going one-on-one with Sophia Roman. Gets it done on the right-hand side. And Angel Reese, sharpen your own tools to head into the next final games. And USA has been doing that this entire tournament. Look at that connection.
And we see Gustafson doing the right thing. She knows it's going to be tough to get to the basket with too many bumps with the big, so she's trying to find it quick.
Caitlin Clark, Monique Billings, Angel Reese, Ray Burrell, and Paige Beckers. Paige finds herself down low, kicks it out to Caitlin Clark. Clark puts it up and nothing but net. And she's rewarded with a trip to the line.
That's what a player called Moses Malone usually uses. Team USA has been able to find, being patient, find the right shot.
Caitlin Clark's got the ball over to Beckers. Beckers sets up the three, and it's nothing so far in this one. You would never believe this is her first time with the senior team. Beckers, a little stop and pop is no good, but Monique Billings with the offensive rebound gives the USA another chance. Angel Reese makes the most of it. Yeah, let's take another look at this one. Angel Reese, strong to the basket. She's got 8 points. She wanted to pull up for three, but gonna share it with Ryan Howard, who puts up a three, and that's her second of the game. Give her 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist so far in the game. Comes off the screen from Iriofin, kicks it over to Clark. Clark behind the back crossover finds Ryan Howard. Howard for three.
Beautiful to watch, and what a one-on-one move by Caitlin Clark, going behind the back, beating the defender and finding the right player.
Clark over to Billings, and Clark, they're going to call that foul not quite shooting. So she's going to get the rebound on the side. And we talked about this connection between her and Ryan Howard, and that's 3 buckets that she's... Plum over to Howard. Howard finds herself open at the three, and there's the answer Team USA needed as Caitlin Clark on the move over to Billings. Billings on the left-hand side off the glass, and how dangerous is Team USA?
From Team USA to sub players in and out. 5 players at a time.
Hockey subs.
Hockey subs.
Kelsey Plum with her first bucket, and sounds like she's got a fan club of her own too.
With the inbounder, as we saw.
They get it into Angel Reese, and she makes them pay, and Angel Reese has been so impressive.
So I will put this entire video inside my video, but I think it's pretty clear a couple of things. Monique Billings is a rebound monster. She runs the floor. She has great chemistry with Caitlin Clark. She knows how to finish a play, and she is a gigantic asset to the Indiana Fever, okay? Now, I envision Monique Billings as being the replacement for Natasha Howard. I think she's a better fit with Clark. I think she's a better fit with the Fever than Natasha Howard was. And I think she's going to be a gigantic asset. And I think, you know, once this deal is announced with Ty Harris today, you know, they can sit Caitlin Clark down and give her a breather during the games, and Ty Harris will take care of the floor while Caitlin Clark is out. So I think the Indiana Fever have the makings here of an amazing team in 2026, certainly a contender. Okay, so let's look at how many more slots there are open here. Okay, we got 6, 7. With the addition of Ty Harris, it's 8. With the addition of a draft pick, it's 9. And I believe the teams carry 12 players this year. Now, the Indiana Fever realistically have 3 picks in the draft this year. Some of those picks, we don't know where they will go. I mean, certainly their first round number 10 pick will probably be on the team. But we shall see about the rest of the picks. And we're going to see that pretty quickly. The collegiate draft is Monday night. And we're going to see who the Indiana Fever gets in their first round pick. That's the one I care the most about, actually. They're all, everybody, you know, they've done a whole new mock draft since the last one I did, which was about, what, a week ago? And some of the names stay the same. And every single person who contributed to the newest mock draft predicts the Indiana Fever to choose a guard. So we'll see. We'll see. And I will keep an eye on that. You guys have a wonderful Sunday. I will be back either tonight or tomorrow, and we'll see what the Ty Harris contract looks like, and we'll see if the Indiana Fever are talking to anybody else in the free agent market. I'm sure that they are. You know, and as I've said, I've given you my spiel about Sophie Cunningham. Would I like to see her back? Perhaps, but not at, you know, again, it's gonna depend on what Sophie Cunningham demands for a contract and whether the Fever are going to be willing to fulfill that contract. And like I said, it should not come at the expense of anything that the Indiana Fever need to do down the road with Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. End of story. So you guys have a fantastic Sunday. I will see you all soon.